let's get this party started. Happy Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week. My hair looks like crap. Don't look at me. Sorry. I was down working in my RV garage. I thought I got my live all fixed up. I thought I got a little bit of time for me. So I go down and I start rearranging my RV garage so that I have all the bases together and all the sugar bowls together and things like that. Well, I'm traipsing through mud. So I got mud on my feet and it's like horrible. And then all of a sudden I needed to use the ladies. So I come back up into the house, take my shoes off outside, of course, because I got this much mud all the way around the outside of them. And then I get ready to go live. My son's like, Mom, I need lunch at 3:30. I'm like, I'm going to be doing my live. So I got his lunch ready and took his lunch to him at work. And then I got back here. And then I realized I was supposed to go to Wichita to pick up my husband's computer. And they close at 5. There's no way I can get there after my live because we got a lot to talk about. Hello to the 2 people in my chat. Thank you for being here. We're going to talk about Michael Monkey Vaughn, Michael Joseph Vaughn. All right. First off, I don't have a fair use disclaimer. See if I can find one in here somewhere. This is a PDF. I guess it'll work. Better than nothing. It gets the job done. It'll get the job done. Let's get this. Share fair use. Where's it at? Window. Here it is. All right. There's the fair use disclaimer. We actually have 692 people subscribe to our channel, my channel, this channel. You're part of me. So you being here supporting me, it makes it your channel too. So anyway, there's our disclaimer. I won't affect anybody's market value of their video. At least not on purpose. At least not on purpose. All right. So I have a short video. Don't start. All right. That I put together this morning, and then we'll go into other things from online. It's about 10 minutes long right here. Michael Monkey Vaughn went missing from Fruitland, Idaho on July 27, 2021 at age 5. He's now 9, and the case remains unsolved with ongoing investigations. July 27, 2021 started like every other normal summer day for Michael and his family. His mother, Brandy, told NCMEC that she had been working numerous days in a row and that this was finally her last day before a break. She promised her son Michael, whom she affectionately dubbed Monkey due to his rambunctious and full of energy personality, that when she returned home, she would have a few days off for them to play together. Brandy called home later that afternoon around 4 p.m. and Michael was playing video games. Everything was normal. She didn't know at the time that a few hours later she would receive a call that would change her world. Brandy Neal, Michael's mother, described Fruitland as a rural farmland city, as a quiet, friendly, and safe place. But on the evening of July 27, 2021, the quiet corner of the world turned frantic when Brandy's 5-year-old son, Michael Vaughn, walked out of the house and down the street. Brandy said her son was looking for older neighbor kids to play with. He went to a neighbor's house, went to another neighbor's house, and another neighbor's house, Brandy said. With Brandy working at the time, her husband inside checking on the toddler and ordering dinner, neither parent knew Michael took off. Michael Monkey Vaughn, a fun-loving, blue-eyed little boy who likes to play outside, was missing, and no one could find him. That's when the seemingly normal summer day of July 27, would turn into a more than 4-year-long nationwide missing child search, leaving everyone pondering the question, where is Michael? On the day Michael went missing, he was last seen between the hours of 6 and 7 p.m. near his home. At the time, he was walking east around Southwest 9th Street. He was wearing a blue Minecraft t-shirt, blue boxer-style shorts with flip-flops. Soon after he was last seen, a countrywide search began. Photos of Michael circulated around Idaho and the rest of the United States. Countless searches were performed by search and rescue units, law enforcement agencies, and community volunteers, yet there was still no sign of Michael. In October 2021, Fruitland Police Department announced that they were asking for help in identifying a car that was seen in the area around the time that Michael went missing. Police believe the car to be a 2016 to 2018 white Honda Pilot. The car was seen on surveillance footage leaving the area of Southwest 8th Street around 6:47 p.m. that afternoon. Tyler says he raced around the neighborhood and called 911. The Fruitland Police, Payette Police, and Payette County deputies and community members searched through the night for the missing child. In the last year, more than 3,000 acres and nearby river have been searched. No suspects have been named, but authorities say they have persons of interest. They included a man seen in newly released photos who police say was walking nearby when Michael went missing. To this day, nobody has been cleared in the investigation, including Tyler and Brandy. Law enforcement and God know our truth, and we'll stand firm and stand strong, Brandy said. Fruitland Police confirmed the couple has cooperated with the investigation. Tyler and Brandy say they still feel like their son is alive and coming home. When asked what justice would look like in their eyes, Brandy said if Michael is returned safe, she would try forgiveness. Tyler said he just wants his boy home and legal punishment would take care of the rest. Now, a yard just 4 minutes away from Michael's home is being excavated. Fruitland Police, along with Idaho State Police, are using a tractor, canine dogs, and a dumpster in the backyard. Lauren Mathis, host of Hidden, a true crime podcast, and spokesperson for the Vaughn family, appears on News Nation Prime to speak about the latest development in the case. Matthias said the home is being searched is very close to where the family lives. She says investigators are being very slow and methodical with their investigation. They have a backhoe, they have canines, and they're putting dirt in the dump truck and they're going away. Then they're sifting through that dirt, Matthias explained. They did go over to the Neal home and Brandy's home and told them yesterday morning, this is happening. We have a tip and we're looking for remains. Matthias says she spoke with Brandy earlier Sunday. She is not doing okay. That is a direct quote from her. We are not okay. I've had to tell his siblings that he might not be coming home, Matthias said. Matthias also said Michael's family members do not know the person whose yard authorities are digging through. The couple that live there are both now in custody, Matthias said. According to Matthias, the couple has not been charged in connection with Michael's disappearance. She says one of them has been behind bars since around May, and the other was taken into custody on Friday. Police have instructed Brandy not to go over to the yard that is being searched, which is an understandably emotional request for the mother. When law enforcement went over today to kind of debrief them and let them know what was going on, they specifically said to Brandy, do not come over to this house. She told me, she said, it's doing everything I can to not go over there, she said. This is my baby. This is my baby. She said she was pacing back and forth, trying hard not to go over to that house. Matthias said she did start crying when she said the words remains were used. She said, I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to use that word yet. Still, there's hope. I'm not ready to tell his siblings that he's not coming home. Not yet. Fruitland police said the department received a tip that Michael's remains could be in the backyard of the home, but nothing has been found so far. Okay. Thank you for watching it. I read that off this morning and I wanted to put Michael's face out there. And also, I feel like you guys think it's boring if I'm just sitting here looking at the window, looking at here and reading something. So I'm trying to interact a little better. I don't know if it's going to work. All right. Here's a news article. I forgot to put the links to where my things were coming from. All right, this one's coming from KMVT 11. All right, that's where this one's going to come from. And it says, Fruitland police continue to search home after new Michael Vaughn lead. Okay, and this is a video. About a minute.
Fruitland Police, along with other agencies that include Idaho State Police and the Homeward Bound program, continue to search an area in Fruitland near where Michael Vaughn disappeared on July 27, 2021. Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff confirmed during an update around 4:15 p.m. today that they are following up on what he...
Sorry, I forgot to put music in the background.
he called a very credible tip in the case. Huff says a search warrant was issued at the home at 1102 Red Wing, and they began digging in the backyard with a backhoe on Saturday and continued the process on Sunday. It's been reported that the search team is planning on removing as much as 4 feet of dirt from the yard. Huff adds that the dirt removed from the backyard is being taken to another location for processing, and he confirmed that specialty trained cadaver dogs were also brought in. Huff said he still hopes that Michael is still alive, but that investigators will follow wherever the leads take them.
I would just tell you that we are all very emotionally tied to this case, just as our community is. I would tell you, probably the country.
Hello, welcome in, Amanda Panda. Thank you for being here. Need some after bite. Got a mosquito bite. All right, we're talking about Monkey Vaughn and the beginning months.
It means a lot to us. We're feeling pretty good about where we're at in this case right now. And we'll have a lot more information to follow, I'm sure.
Michael Vaughn was just 5 years old when he disappeared around his home on July 27, 2021. Since then, police have followed up on thousands of tips. However, this is the first time that a tip has led to a search warrant.
All right. So that was the first one. I think I got them out of order though. But it was talking when I read my 10-minute speech. I ended off talking about this part of it where they found and they're digging up the yard and everything. So this next one is from Newsweek. All right, relit screen. Say, Michael Vaughn, what we know about missing 5-year-old Michael Vaughn. You know he'd be 9 years old now. This was November 14th, 2022. So he'd been gone about 4 months, 3 or 4 months at this time. Do I need to read these? I thought it had sound with it. The investigators are searching for missing 5-year-old in Idaho. They have arrested a woman in connection with the disappearance. It don't look like no woman's name. Sarah Wandra is accused of failing to notify authorities about an unaliving. Michael Vaughn was last seen in Fruitland in July 2021. He disappeared after going out to play at 3 neighboring houses. Well, I understand that he didn't play at any of the houses. He went and knocked on the doors and asked if there were children that could come play with him. Both parents say they were unaware he left the house. Fruitland police received a very credible anonymous tip. That claimed Michael's remains were buried near a house. Police obtained a search warrant to excavate. Nothing has been found so far. A $26,000 reward has been offered for any information. Leading to his safe return. Alright. That one didn't have no.
What I think is we really have to comment is the fact that.
Alright. Didn't mean to go into some kind of preaching sermon there. So the next one we're going to show is the Stacy Wandra. The lady that they think is involved. Alright. This is Stacy Wandra and sorry. Her name's Sarah, not Stacy. Stacy's the man. Little do I know. Oh, I forgot. This is from Idaho News 2. Stacy Wander and his wife Sarah Wander were named as suspects after Sarah was first taken into custody more than a year ago. For charges related to not reporting and unaliving to the coroner. Those charges were later dropped. Sarah has been in jail on unrelated charges since around that time. She looks like a happy, happy lady, doesn't she? Little movement in the case has been made public since a flurry of new discoveries and activity 2 years ago in late 2022. Police began digging in the backyard of a residence just blocks from Michael Vaughn's home in Fruitland. That house belonged to Sarah and Stacy Wander. The hopes of discovering Michael's remains were soon dashed as Police Chief Huff announced that no remains had been found, but it appeared likely that his body may have once been buried there and then been moved. CBS 2 is working to get a copy of the leaked video. Check back here for the video upload. Copies of the video shared online shows Stacy Wander directing police detective to where he says he saw Sarah bury Michael's body. He directed detectives over a FaceTime call in great detail to where he says he saw Sarah burying a body, and it had, wait a minute, and it should be in either a black or white trash bag. Michael's remains have not been recovered. Now, if Stacy's been in jail since May, and Michael went missing in July, how could Stacy have seen Sarah put anything in the backyard? Just asking. Out of curiosity. Just see how that could be possible. Because the last time I heard, now I don't know, I've never been to prison myself, but the last time I heard, you weren't allowed to have cell phones and all this stuff when you're in prison. Now I imagine if you got on the internet, you could figure out a way in the library of the prison and get on the computers. You might figure out a way where you could FaceTime with somebody on there. I don't know. That could be blocked too. I don't know. I know nothing about being in prison or in jail or anything like that. So, all right. Next, we're going to go to Michael Vaughn's. Wait, I missed something. Fruitland police respond to leaked footage in Michael Vaughn's investigation. Okay, this is from KIVI TV. This has got a long one here. Fruitland, whoops, forgot a step. I wouldn't have got very far and my mom would have said, hey, you forgot something. We can't see what you're talking about. She's good for that. Fruitland PD responds to leaked footage in Michael Vaughn investigation. Fruitland Police Department say they are They are not responsible for the release of this footage.
Newly posted body camera footage shows authorities on a FaceTime call with a man once named as a suspect in the disappearance of 5-year-old Michael "Monkey" Vaughn. I'm your neighborhood reporter Brady Caskey with the body cam footage showing Stacy Wandra explain to officers where to find the body in his Fruitland backyard, walking distance from where Monkey was last seen.
That's literally the place that he was buried.
It's a case we've been covering for you since he went missing. 5-year-old Michael Vaughn of Fruitland was last seen in July of 2021. Now, a newly posted YouTube video shows.
Okay, I have to cut it just every now and then to do the fair use thing, like not playing straight through. So that's what I'm doing.
Stacy Wandra.
Oh, this is from Clutch Them Pearls. I didn't realize I had Justin's video on here. Okay.
It's a prime suspect in Vaughn's disappearance, guiding detectives to where he says he saw Michael's body buried.
Like underneath the dirt mound area.
And about where he's standing?
Yeah, a little bit less, like closer to the house.
At the time, Wandra was incarcerated in Washington County on unrelated charges. The body cam video, posted to YouTube on Wednesday, is stamped as November 12, 2022, the same day authorities began to dig up and search the Wandra's yard.
You're 10,000 million% positive he was back here in this backyard.
10,000 million% positive. Whew. I wouldn't want to tell somebody I was that positive.
Yes.
As Idaho News 6 previously reported, a quote, credible tip led investigators to dig up the Wandra's backyard, located just walking distance from where Monkey was last seen.
You're the one that brought us here.
Yeah.
And so that's why we don't want to leave here.
Yeah.
Unless we have Michael.
But after more than a week of searching, no human remains were.
But they only dug down 4 feet. And in July, the ground's not frozen. So they should be able to dig down. Anybody knows. I mean, I learned when I was in elementary school that if you wanted to bury something and you didn't want it to smell, you have to go at least 6 feet. So why'd they only dig down 4 feet? If the dog thought it was smelling something, why didn't they go down farther? Just asking. Just asking.
Were found.
It just doesn't make sense why he wouldn't, why he's not, he's not in the area that you guys are digging in.
In the body cam video, Wandra says it was his wife, Sarah, who buried Michael.
Like I said, Sarah, could have done something with it when I wasn't home, knowing that she knew that I had seen where she was digging.
As we reported in 2022, Sarah Wandra was charged with failure to notify police of a death, but in April the next year, those charges were dropped. In the 2022 footage, Stacy denies any involvement.
Yeah, I had no. I can't even mow the yard. Do you see me digging a hole that big?
In a statement to Idaho News 6 on Wednesday, Michael's mother Brandy says, quote, I want answers. Our family is tired of these monsters not telling the truth. Our precious son is out there. They refuse to tell us where, and people in this very community are helping them remain quiet.
I'm distraught, I want this, I want this to be done and over with, This family suffered way too long.
In the weeks after the yard search, police named 4 suspects in the case, but still no one has been formally charged with Michael's death or disappearance. In our most recent communication with Fruitland.
You thought maybe Sarah had moved him? Amanda Panda says, I thought the same thing he did. Well, I guess you're right, because if he had been in the ground and then got moved, his scent would still be on the dirt that was in the ground, and the dogs could pick up on that scent. Especially if the dirt had been turned, which it would have had to have been turned in order to take him out, and then have the dirt be put back. The dirt wouldn't have gone back in exactly. Did you not see my first? No, I didn't. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. You're right. I don't know. I know I personally would have a hard time digging a 6 foot, let alone 4 foot deep hole without being noticed or for taking forever. You've got a point there. You've got a point there. Because in order to plant a plant, you don't have to dig but a small little hole. And if you're going to plant a rose bush, it might be this deep of a hole. But wow. And he said he couldn't because he was too fat. Right. So he couldn't even mow the yard. He must have other problems too, because like he smokes or something. I'm guessing, because when I weighed 250 pounds, and that guy's a lot taller than I am, when I weighed 250, I could still mow the yard, and I smoked. I'm not saying it was easy, but I could do it.
The PD, they told us they handed over their case to the prosecutor's office.
So, all right, now we are going to go to KMTV. I forgot to go pick up Dad's computer today. And they close at 5 and it's over in Wichita. So let's share screen. All right, these are the 4 suspects believed to have information on Michael Vaughn in Fruitland.
Well, there are new updates tonight in the case of a missing Fruitland boy, Michael Vaughn. At a press conference this afternoon, it was revealed that investigators strongly believe that based on evidence, Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff has revealed the identities of 4 people who his department believes have information on Michael's disappearance.
That's a scary group. I would not want to meet them at my age. I could imagine what a 5-year-old was thinking.
That includes Sarah Wandra and her husband Stacy, the residents of the home where police executed a search warrant last month. Both of them are currently in custody. Chief Huff also says Brandon Shirtlift of Kuna and Adrian Lucene of Toledo, Ohio, were staying with the Wondras at the time of Michael's disappearance and may have information. Police believe Shirtlift is currently in North Dakota and Lucene may be in Toledo or California. Chief Huff encouraged both men to contact the Fruitland police immediately.
I think Shirtlift's responsible. If I could find the video that I saw of Shirtlift, I will put it in here tomorrow, because I saw them do some kind of interview where they were talking about him. Amanda Panda says, if the dog smelled something, the body was more than likely moved, and that is his wife, so I guarantee you he probably let something slip and she moved the evidence before they got there. You got a good point. You got a good point. Very possible. But where would she have moved him to? That's the question. And she would have had to do it in the night so that people didn't see her. Well, not really. She does have a privacy fence. But still, neighbors around, I mean, well, not everybody's like me living on a hill where I can see down into all my neighbors' yards. But if somebody had a 2-story house, they could see down into the yard at night or whatever. Or during the day or something like that. But then again, she could have just dug it up and put it someplace else until after they'd done that long, it would probably be already decomposing. I don't want to say my thoughts on it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to say my thoughts on that either. I don't know why I just got prayers and hearts from Smiley, but Smiley Stories World gave me prayers and hearts. Could be on my earlier thing because I did a prayer for Nana's Dragonfly. If anybody knows Nana's Dragonfly, her husband recently passed and we're saying prayers for her. Alright, let's see. Did I finish this? Where'd you go? Oh, I didn't even start
There are
it.
new updates
Yeah, I
tonight
did.
in the case of a missing Fruitland boy.
Yeah, I did. I did that whole one. This is the last one. It changed commercials. Darn it. Excuse me. My pizza's wanting to talk about it. All right. This says Fruitland. I keep wanting to say Fruit Loop Police. I know it's not a pretty sight when my animals dig something up that I've buried, like a chicken or something. Yeah. I imagine it kind of puts the skunk over in y'all's yard or something. Skunks are us. Okay. Fruitland Police to give update on Michael Vaughn's case. The Fruitland Police Department is continuing its investigation into the boy's disappearance and will hold a news conference Wednesday at 1 p.m. That is the rudest way. Fruitland Police Department is continuing its investigation into Michael Monkey Vaughn's case disappearance and will hold a news conference Wednesday. Say his name. Okay, there's Monkey. Boise, Idaho, the Fruitland Police Department is scheduled to hold a news conference Wednesday at 1 to discuss the I saw a video on that. Saw a video, so I didn't have to read all this. Where'd it go? Right there. I mean, when I think about it, it makes me wonder what she actually dug back up and was able to move. I mean, depending on what she did to it, to him, I mean, she could have buried something like a tote, or, I mean, it would have been very difficult to get him into it. She'd really had to scrunch him. That sounds like my son coming home after I went and took him lunch. That's my son. After I went and took him lunch. Oh well. I guess things slowed down at his work.
Come into Maximum Outdoor Equipment and take a Walker mower for a test drive today.
At Freddy's, we put a little extra effort into every steak burger we make. The brisket in our new barbecue brisket steak burger, it's smoked for 16 hours.
Probably gonna be it. You want that reset it?
Is there more?
Like you think?
Yeah, tape it to that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll hold it.
Thanks.
The 60s called and wants their dress back. I didn't know they even made polyester dresses anymore.
Oh, yeah. I think that's probably a little bit better. Possibly. I don't know if I
don't like. Yeah.
Alright. It sounds to me like Stacy was trying to get the reward money added to his books unless they didn't have something to do with it and they're leading them down a red herring. That's two wonderful points. Two good points. Could be leading them down a rabbit hole, sending them out a red herring, covering up for somebody else since they're already in jail and going to be doing time. I'm trying to get past to where he's going to start. Did you like that Dylan's pizza?
Yeah.
I didn't know she was going to be able to let me home, so I didn't know.
That's all right.
So I don't have to go back until 5. So I came back to get my wallet and my glasses, my sunglasses.
Jeez. Maybe now?
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to start out by thanking you guys for showing up. I apologize for the short notice on this and moving this up in our schedule, but we identified some travel conflicts and some other commitments that weren't going to allow some of our partners.
Her shoes match great. Yeah, I was taught not to wear tennis shoes with the dress, but maybe if they're Converse, it's okay. I don't know. I thought he was frozen in time, but everything in the reflection behind him. Yeah. Yeah.
Partners to be here today. So they wanted to be here today. It was important for everybody to make it on this anniversary of Michael's disappearance. And so I appreciate you for indulging us and moving this up in your schedules as well. So I quickly want to recognize the Fruitland Police Department, the men and women of our department, as our staff continues to work tirelessly to keep this department moving forward as we continue to investigate Michael's case. So their loyalty and courage and tenacity is clearly unmatched. And it's a privilege to lead and work with these people every day. I just wanted to introduce some of my partners. As I've done in the past, our partnerships haven't changed. I'd like to introduce Supervisory Agent in Charge Doug Hart with the FBI, Captain Matt Sly with the Idaho State Police, Chief Gary Marshall with the Payette City Police Department, Sheriff Andy Creech with the Payette County Sheriff's Office, and Mark Sullivan with the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue. We also have with us...
Wow. Wow. You've got Hart, you've got a Sly Hart, and I forgot what his name was, who can preach about Mr. Sullivan. Just saying. Hey, Justice James. For my service provider. We are going over the beginning of Michael Monkey Vaughn's case. Somebody on X yesterday asked me to help them learn about the case, and so I'm trying to learn as well. Now I'm going to tell you what, these shoes right here, and you can ask my moderator, Manda Panda, are the best. You can go hiking in them for miles and not have, I mean, it's wonderful. Wonderful. You can go through water. Great. And they just came out with the winter line. I'm gonna check on the winter line. But okay. Freeland Police to give update. Hey, where'd the video go? I lost it. It went away. Oh well. Guess this is the one I was going to. I don't want to have to cue that all the way up again.
Come into Maximum Outdoor Equipment and take a Walker mower for a test drive today.
All right.
Tyler Vaughn and Bob Vaughn and Bug. So it's nice to have them here with us today.
Hey, it didn't go up when I tried to raise
Since
it
the
up.
evening of July 27th, 2021, the Fruitland Police Department, the Idaho State Police, the FBI, law enforcement agencies, and law enforcement agencies across the country have investigated the disappearance of 5-year-old Michael Vaughn. We haven't stopped. Every day we have unfinished business, and I'll tell you that every day is an anniversary of the disappearance from Michael Vaughn for us. Law enforcement, the families of law enforcement, and our community. Our investigation remains intense and strong. So I want to take a moment to just kind of cover some significant aspects of the case to provide some context for those who aren't completely familiar with our case, or those might be jumping in a little bit later. A lot of it I've covered in prior press conferences, but I wanted to cover it again today. So Michael Joseph Vaughn was last seen at his residence on Southwest 9th Street at approximately 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, July 27, 21. Law enforcement received the first call by 911 at 7:21 p.m. and we began an immediate search of the area. And I should note that law enforcement across the country receives these type of calls every year. Numerous calls like this, we call them wander-offs, and they conclude, but after finding the child safely with friends or family, and clearly it's typically a breakdown in communication. So you need to know the first missing and endangered alert went out at 8:20. with different alerts to email, phone calls, text messages being issued to area residents until 11:20 that night. Michael's image and information went out to law enforcement nationwide on a database called the National Crime Information Center, or NCIC. And Michael's also been entered into the State of Idaho Missing Person Clearinghouse and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The Fruitland Police, Payette Police, and Payette County deputies and citizens searched through the night until support arrived the following morning. The ensuing response was immense. We had over 100 law enforcement officers from federal, state, and local agencies, including the FBI Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team, along with trained search teams, converge on our small city of Fruitland. Our physical search efforts were conducted by...
Okay, I have to do the fair use thing. So, I think I've seen this video, but I'm not positive. And I'm hoping he'll tell us more information than what we already know.
Experts from the Idaho Fish and Game, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, both Fruitland and Sand Hollow Fire Departments, multiple law enforcement agencies, and coordinated citizen searchers. The search included over 200 residential homes, properties including outbuildings, a septic tank, garbage cans, vehicles, irrigation ditches, and drained canals. Trained search teams and law enforcement, along with specialized canine teams from across the country, searched over 3,000 acres of farm ground, along with areas surrounding the city and out into the county. Sophisticated drones, boats with sonar, boats with canines, kayaks, paragliders. I would say that if we could have dammed the Snake River, we would have. With the help of residences and businesses, we were able to retrieve hours and hours of security camera video, and we continue to reference that video while working on our leads.
Son, I think it's time we have the talk.
Okay.
When you love someone, you want to...
So let's talk
Thanks
about...
for not going through that one.
When I tell you our investigation has been intense and daily, I can assure you that it has been. Since the disappearance, detectives and investigators across the country have logged tens of thousands of man-hours to bring this case to conclusion. We've gathered an immense amount...
I got a theory here. I know it's not a true theory, but I think Monkey Vaughn, Sebastian Rogers, and Summer Wells were all taken by Pennywise. So now they're going to be afraid of clowns when they come back. I'm just joking.
Amount of data and continue to work through it with experts from several agencies. We've applied for and served over 27 search warrants, but that may seem low, but I'm telling you that we've also performed probably triple that in mutual consent type searches. So the search warrant and consent searches we've performed have yielded high volumes of data, and search warrants are still being written today. The data requires expertise from law enforcement partners, and this takes a lot of time to decipher. We continue to use all of our investigative resources, to include that of the Idaho State Police and our friends at the FBI. Further, the Idaho State Police and the FBI have assigned investigators to work specifically with the City of Fruitland Police Department on this case, and our partnership is healthy and strong. We continue to call upon the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue teams with their specialized canine units, and we've received some recent leads that have put us out in the area again, searching more acreage. And I can't thank them enough for what they've done for us. On a moment's notice, they're jumping and running for us. Although unsuccessful with these searches, we can't stop, and we appreciate the...
You're done with me? I know you don't like clowns. You don't like clowns. It was the thought See, every time I click on you and click off of you, I lose my video.
The industrial grade product you need, plus 1 million more. Call clickgranger.com or stop by. Grainger.
The blue Dodge Avenger we were looking for. Further, the Idaho State Police and the FBI have assigned investigators to work specifically with the City of Fruitland Police Department on this case, and our partnership is healthy and strong. We continue to call upon the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue teams with their specialized canine units, and we've received some recent leads that have put us out in the area again, searching more acreage. And I can't thank them enough for what they've done for us. On a moment's notice, they're jumping and running for us. Although unsuccessful with these searches, we can't stop, and we appreciate the continued support from all of our members. And I would tell you that the number of acres searched will continue to grow. So in our efforts to develop a detailed timeline of events leading up to Michael's appearance, we've processed over 1,000 leads. So we've cleared many of these leads, but not all have been cleared because some require assistance from out of state, more investigators, and probably more importantly, just time to work these things through to make sure we can bring each lead to a conclusion. This process is exhaustive and it takes a lot of time, and we believe someone out there will ultimately provide us with some information that'll help us solve this case. It's important to note that as we continue to refine our timeline, we now believe that Michael disappeared in a smaller window of time, and that's probably between the time of 6:40 p.m. and 7 o'clock p.m. on the 27th. Earlier in the investigation, we needed assistance in identifying two vehicles.
Now, he wouldn't have been able to walk very far in 20 minutes. Because he's little bitty. His legs ain't this long. I mean, he's little.
And two pedestrians that were seen in the area around the time of Michael's disappearance. So you guys need to know that we positively identified the blue Dodge Avenger we were looking for, and the man that we saw jogging in that area. Those have both been identified, vetted, and investigated, and to an end. So the white Honda Pilot, 2016 to 18 Honda Pilot that we have leaving the area at approximately that time, again, we believe that it belongs to a resident, but we haven't quite been able to clear that and verify that. So that's kind of still an outstanding for us. The man seen walking through the area of the splash pad of Crestview Park leading up to the time of Michael's disappearance, he's not come forward and he has not been identified. So the man's described as a white male adult, late 20s, early 30s. He was seen wearing black shorts, a white t-shirt with cut-off sleeves, dark colored shoes, and a hat. So I need to make it perfectly clear that he is not a suspect, but we need to talk to him so we can determine his whereabouts and see if he witnessed anything that would be helpful in this investigation.
Well, you know his
so I plan
whereabouts.
on releasing a photograph of that individual in my Facebook official posting later today. So you'll all have that. You need to understand that this is a multifaceted investigation. So
If they've got a photograph of him in the area, and I've seen the photograph, I just didn't use it today. But they've got a photograph of him. Do they know where he was? Because they know where the photograph was taken.
So many leads are working. We're working many leads at the same time. So some leads are temporarily abandoned as priority leads come in, and that's happened to us on multiple occasions. Once abandoned and we clear the priority leads, then we pick those things right back up and we're working on them again until we can work them to conclusion, right? It takes an intense effort and a lot of work to document all of the leads as they're coming in. And at the conclusion of this investigation, I'm hopeful we'll find the answers. It's important that our case is organized and very strong. So I will tell you that this is a criminal investigation. So with that, you need to know that a majority of our investigative efforts just cannot be made public at this time. As
Taking lessons from Sumner County.
members of the community, we agonize with the family, and we've dedicated our resources to bringing Michael home. So we believe the continued distribution of this story will generate more attention and tips that can be investigated by our department and our partners. So anyone having information regarding Michael's disappearance, I would ask you please reach out to us. No tidbit of information is too benign or too obscure. It just helps us process the overall picture. We appreciate the efforts of the community, members of the media partners who keep this case at the forefront by promoting and sharing the story, and we encourage all of you to continue sharing the official poster from the Idaho Missing Persons Clearinghouse. I would like to introduce a new partnership today. It's called the Homeward Bound program. The program was first started by Trooper Renee Padgett with the Washington State Patrol in 2005. She was working with the WSP Commercial Vehicle Division. Trooper Padgett worked with then the Gordon Trucking with a vision that posters of missing children being displayed on sides of semi-trailers traveling around the country could bring much needed awareness and possibly recovery. With the help of Tanea Parmiter with the Idaho State Police, we've been able to partner with the Homeward Bound program, which will carry Michael's information across the country on semi-trailers. As designed by Trooper Padgett, this will expand the exposure of Michael's case on the interstates, highways, and roads of our country, which will bring new leads and potentially help us bring Michael home. We're hoping to have semi-trailers outfitted with Michael's information near the end of August and get those on the road.
And they have 3 of them, to the best of my knowledge. But when I looked them up to see where they were going, they're staying locally in the Colorado or the Idaho and the 4 surrounding states, or whatever states closer to Idaho. They're not going out nationwide yet.
Come into Maximum Outdoor Equipment and take a Walker mower for a test drive today.
Well, look at that.
Much trouble.
It's brisket o'clock.
And we're working on them again until we can work them to conclusion, right? It takes an intense effort and a lot of success. That is the reason why we, there's a possibility or a higher probability of abduction. That's what led us to that. Again, as we continue to work through this thing, there are still no absolutes. So when I say everything's on the table, it's still on the table, okay?
Okay, now they're going through questions, and you can't hear the people asking the questions.
We're looking into that, but I think, like I said, these leads and what we're doing, it's happening at the same time. So yes, we're looking into friends and family close to the Vaughns, and we're looking outside as well.
Okay, we can't hear the questions, so the answers really don't make as much sense. But yeah, tomorrow I'll go in deeper on Michael Monkey Vaughn. But there's just so much information. There's a lot more information on Monkey's case than there is on Summer Wells' case or Sebastian Rogers' case, but they're all equally as important. Every child is important. And I hope they can all come home. I would really love for them all to come home. So anyway, thank you for being here. Do something nice for someone, even if it's just be the reason they smile, and get lost.